Hi, I'm Nick Martin here with Sam Turken of the Duke Chronicle. We're here at Wallace Wade Stadium where Duke's just defeated number 20 Georgia Tech 34-20 on a very rainy day here in Durham. Now, Sam, I know the score might sound like it was a really high-scoring, knockdown, drag-out affair between the two teams, at least compared to Duke's past game against Northwestern. But this game really was, the offense did its job, but this game was about the defense and the plays it made. They held the number one rushing attack in Georgia Tech in the nation to 173 yards on the ground, well below the 377 yards the Yellow Jackets normally average. And I know, a lot of the guys who aren't going to get the credit are the guys in the middle, doing the grunt work, the ugly work. But Carlos Ray, Kyler Brown, those guys, they really won the battle on the line of scrimmage against the Yellow Jackets. And when you're playing them, you can't let them have the dive. They've got a great fullback in Patrick Scove, who Stanford transfer, who has really torn up teams so far this season. And Blue Devils, they stuffed him and every other back that the Yellow Jackets had out. Jeremy Cash, Dwayne Norman, those are two guys you should know. And if you didn't know them before today, you obviously don't know. Jeremy Cash came out, had 12 tackles. The two combined for 5.5 tackles for loss. And really, a really great point was made in the press conference with Coach Cutcliffe about how in the past, the offensive players like Jamison Crowder and Anthony Boone and Connor Vernon have always been the guys that have kind of stepped up and provided Duke with the big plays. Well, this year it seems like the defense is paying it forward, and that's why the Blue Devils came away with the win today. Now, that being said, you had to score points to beat a team like Georgia Tech. Sam, what did the offense do today, especially in the first half, that really proved fundamental to the win?
Well, the offense didn't have that great a performance. Yeah, they put up over 30 points, but then again, Duke's special teams really came out strong. DeVon Edwards had a kickoff return, and also Ryan Smith had a long return that set Duke up at the 1 yard line for a Shaquille Powell 1 yard touchdown.
Right.
But to go back to the offense, the offense got off to a quick start, scored 2 quick touchdowns. But then, like Northwestern, we saw them slow down again. And, although Thomas Sirk did take some more shots, he had a nice deep ball to Max McCaffrey, which we didn't see at all against Northwestern. He did that well, but, what further proves that this team is going to be more of a defensive team throughout the season is that, the offense struggles to get into a rhythm and sustain drive after drive. They'll score, every now and then, but they're relying on the defense to stop the opposition. Duke came out strong rushing. Shaquille Powell had 14 rushes for 88 yards. It was, as you can see from the weather, it was a nasty day, so Duke decided to go with Powell because he's more of a strong physical runner. And that sums it up offensively.
Yeah, and I think you make a really good point that this offense isn't really going to have the guys that are going to break away, like Nick Chubb or Leonard Fournette type guys, but few offenses do. But this offense, I think, does a good job of, at least they did a good job of today, was managing themselves. They had a couple of what could be very costly turnovers with Thomas Sirk throwing a pair of interceptions in the second half. But then you have the defense to come up, step up, and make the big plays and actually go out and get the ball back to seal the game up. One thing we didn't touch on was special teams. Now, last week, special teams was kind of shaky. They let up a kickoff return for touchdown. This week, completely different story. DeVon Edwards seems like he takes kickoff back for a touchdown at least every other game. Does it again today, takes it 100 yards for the score. And Ryan Smith nearly scored, had a 69-yard punt return for down to the 1 yard line, and then Powell punched it in. The Blue Devils will be up next week. They'll be hosting their 4th game here at Wallace Wade against Boston College. You can follow us along at the Chronicle, online at Chronicle, on Twitter at Chronicle Sports, at Duke, and then DukeChronicle.com. For Sam Turken, I'm Nick Martin. We'll see you next week.